the occupation in London. Many things go on here, many interesting things, and we've got one of the Techie crew to ask questions of two. So, Sam, the Techie, tell us about what's technology got to do with an occupation?
It's an integral part of us ensuring that the efforts of the people that are actually currently in the building and actually in the fields, St Paul's site and the Finsbury Square site, actually magnifies their effect, communicates what they're doing, can allow us to contact people outside the occupation, get offers of help, coordinate things logistically, actually getting things to the site, and also, we're creating our own media, so we need to get that out of the occupation site. And that's additionally.
So the occupation is a whole infrastructure. There's a kitchen, there's water, there's electricity, and there is internet. Mm-hmm. So what the tech crew, did they do the plumbing? Did they do the electricity? Did they do the internet? What actually do they do? A lot
of things. I'm an electronic engineer. If you're useful, people use you. I've been working on a lot of things. Essentially, working groups can form to solve a particular problem and then disband very quickly. People have the correct tools and some initiative. So the tech team have been involved in a lot of the infrastructural setups that have happened in the building and also in the camps. People individually from the tech team have been involved in those. But I can say here we've worked very hard to get electricity, in an internet connection, networking, all the patch panels in the ground floor, and some Wi-Fi network set up. We're trying to maintain that level of infrastructure while we're here. And also some network printing solutions and some other little bits, about 4 or 5 computers which we've been able to salvage and recondition, and they're available for general use. And any other tech requests for online stuff for working groups, that's pretty much what our sort of purview is. There's actually a mandate for the St Paul's tech team on the wiki, occupywiki.co.uk, which can go into more detail about what we do, but on the ground practically that's what we've been doing in the UBS currently. So.
Okay. So, a lot of people see the people who are involved in occupations as a bunch of hippies and Luddites and, kind of anti-high-tech. And here you are doing high-tech stuff. Do you get attention in the building about that?
So I think, I don't know if someone put it as subverting the tools of alienation. I think we can take back technology and use it in a way which is appropriate. And I think in the 21st century, an occupation, a global movement requires high-tech. There is no disadvantage. There is no kind of going back to simpler ways, thinking required here. That's all a load of rubbish. It's very good to learn skills which don't require high-tech solutions. That's fine. But personally, when I'm making a DIY table, I like to have instructables open at the same time. So I'll make the best table, which has been crowdsourced from all of the people that have tried to make tables on the internet, and actually people have communicated their designs. Now I'd like to actually get a little bit of a step up and an advantage to know what the best ideas were and actually make use and leverage those, which is outside of my knowledge, at the time, and outside of the knowledge of people immediately around me, because I think there's a global talent pool. People have been contributing great ideas, and I'd like to find those ready-made solutions online and then leverage them, actually use them where it's needed. So tech, to me, come on, when you look up a recipe, you go to BBC or Good Food, don't you? So to me, it's essential for every single task that I'm doing, and it means that I'm more effective. So.
Okay, so. There's a team of people here. Can you tell us what sort of people they are? What sort of people get involved in a crazy space like this occupation? This is a squatted illegal building. Who actually is the tech team? What sort of characters are they? What skills do they bring?
Hackers, mostly white hat friendly people, people with PC repair backgrounds, people who have an interest in these things, PC repair and networking, but haven't, achieved, any degree of measurable degree of success that society would recognise, but people that are practically very useful, maybe have set up their own PC repair business or something. Those self-taught techies are the best people that we want to work with, because it's the robustness of their approach to just make do with what they've got and to rely on themselves to get a job done rather than waiting for some sort of structure or something else to move. So it's basically it's people that have kind of very much worked things out on their own. So the best techie, I can just a quick nod, just a couple of words, and they'll be working for the whole afternoon. And I know that's the kind of person I want working, behind me or working with. And those, so who else? We've got people from, lots of computer science degrees in the tech team. I've got an electronic engineering degree from Durham. We've got other hackers and people who are self-taught. I think some other backgrounds. It's not exclusive though, you know, you don't need a computer science degree to join the club. We're actually just generally looking for people that just want to be helpful and productive, and maybe people that are slightly less interested in talking about things, more interested in actually doing something. Not to be cynical, but just to say I don't fully believe in the process and that fluffy stuff, because it's not tangible. You don't necessarily get an outcome from that. And people do see outcomes, and they don't necessarily read minutes and things, which I believe to be the product of those meetings, where, you know, consensus-based meetings. We can have quick, you know, rapid consensus on a topic, get something done, form a working group or a temporary group of people who are working on a particular problem, get it done and disband again, and that really works. And I'd like to promote that way of doing things.
So how do people get involved in the tech team at Occupation, at the Bank of Ideas specifically?
Come and register your interest to help at the info desk, or directly come over to Tech with an offer of some kit, some old computer hardware. There's a wish list online on our wiki. If you go to occupywiki.co.uk, there's actually or .org.uk, it's the same, it forwards to the same website. You can find a wish list per site. So there's one for LSX, which is next to St Paul's. There's one for Finsbury Square. There's one even for the Bloomsbury Social Centre. There's, you know, so what we try to do is streamline donations coming in the fashion of Free Cycle. We have wanted, offered and received, and that's on an editable wiki page. Now if you're going to bring something in, look at the wanted list, offer it. If it's difficult to move, we can then respond. If you leave some contact details on that page or on the discussion tab of that wiki page, we can contact you. But very simply, how do you get involved? Bring something which you think might be useful, or take the time to look on the wish list. Bring it to the tech room on the ground floor of UBS. UBS is on Sun Street. It's just down the road from Finsbury Square. If you go to the Finsbury Square site, say hi to people, ask them, hey, where's UBS, and bring your computer goodies to us. We'd really appreciate that. If you're a hacker, a techie, an engineer, scientist, or anyone good at analytical thinking, good at practical like networking, you know, we need programmers and developers as well. We've got lots of software that needs writing. Any interest in video, or basically, you know, whatever your flavour of tech is, come down and try and help out. We're trying to achieve something here which is, you know, greater than, you know, our own concerns, our own interests, and there's a global movement going on now. So if you feel like, you know, you're a bit disenfranchised with things, or you're like a recent graduate, haven't maybe twiddling your thumbs, come and join us. But we could really use your help, and I'm sure you'd learn a lot, and we'll make a better society, I think, as a result of all actually, you know, making something positive out of quite a bad economic situation. So we'd appreciate your help. So thanks.
Okay, so that's Sam the Techie. Come into the building, demand a cup of tea, somebody will point you to where the tea is, and right next to the tea place is the technological thing. Knock on the door gently, because they can bite sometimes, because they get a bit stressed. But they're very sweet, really. Okay, find out more on Vision on TV.